I'm back, baby. I'm back. So just got back from GameStop. Well, I got back from Target, but GameStop was the first destination. And why was I at GameStop? Who shops at GameStop in 2020? Apparently this guy, because they ended up having this Xbox Series 2 Elite controller in stock, and I went in to go return my second one of this controller that was broken to get my money back so I could go to another store that had a newer batch to buy it from that store, which that store ended up not being Walmart, even though I checked. And it ended up not being one Target, but it ended up being another Target. So I had to go to 4 different stores. It didn't even end up being Best Buy. I checked there too. Like, I had to go in person to all these stores, so it was a pain. But there will be a review coming out for this controller, by the way, sometime soon. And the problems that I was going through with it, which were crazy. This is $180. They're charging $180 for this thing. This controller right here, $180, $89.92 with tax. They're charging that much for this controller. And it's coming with problems right out the box. Crazy. We'll talk about that though in the review of this controller. But there is a chance that this one may not be defective like the other ones were. So that doesn't mean that it didn't work or doesn't work or that it's just garbage. I'm just going to talk to you about my issues that I was having with it in another video. But from the title of the video, you already know how I got a PS4 for free. So I go into GameStop. I'm going to return this controller, not this specific one, but another one that was defective. I'm at the register. The GameStop employee is telling me it's going to take 2 to 4 business days for your money to process back into your account. Long story short, it was frustrating to hear that. I'm hearing them tell me I'm not going to have access to my money today, so I have to spend an additional $180 out of my pocket to get another replacement controller from a different store instead of having access to my money right away. So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, got my mask on, I'm just like, and I know she can't see my face, so I'm like, this is great. I can just feel what I feel without having to mask it or hide it from her or whatever. Even though the mask is hiding it, I'm just like, I can just express this to myself. I'm just like, then I look to my left, I see this white guy come in, you know, and at first he's like he's kind of standoffish or whatever, like off to himself a little bit, and then he walks up to the register. He's holding a PS4 in his hands, and then the guy's like, "Are you here to trade that in today, sir?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "Hold up. I've been wanting to buy Mikado a PS4 for the longest, and I know GameStop absolutely rips people off for trading values. And if he's willing to trade this into GameStop, he's already super ultra desperate. Like, he's desperate for funds." So I'm like, shit, why don't I offer it? GameStop ain't gonna give him more than $100. You buy a PlayStation 4 brand new online, it's gonna be like $200, $250, something like that. So I'm like, they ain't gonna give him more than $100. I'll just offer him $120 and just take it home with me right now. So I ended up saying, hey, how much are you guys gonna give him for that PlayStation 4? I'm like, you know, because I'll give him whatever. I'll offer more than whatever they're giving you, bro. And he looks at me, he laughs, and he's like, well, I don't have a controller, and the PS4 doesn't read discs. The disk drive's bad or something. He's like, and he like kind of laughs or whatever. And then I'm like, well, I could just download games on there. I don't need the disk drive. I can go digital with it or install an external hard drive on it and make it, do its job a little bit better, actually, because then I don't got to keep switching discs, don't got to get up and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's great. Like, I'm like, come on, that's actually like the better route to go. I'm like, especially at that price, $100. I want that. Let me get that. So what ended up happening was he didn't have an HDMI cable either. So because his disk drive was broken, GameStop was like, well, it's already a defective item, so we'll offer you $60 for it. But this is where the scam comes in. But because you don't have a controller, the cheapest PlayStation 4 controller we have here is a used one for $52.99. So you technically would only be getting $7 from us. And you don't have an HDMI cable. The HDMI cable is $14.99. So technically you would owe us money to sell us something. And at this moment when they said that, I just busted out laughing so hard because I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. I couldn't help the times when I was like a child or a kid, a younger teenager, and I go to GameStop and I got these older games that I'd held on to for a couple years, and they got a couple little scratches on it, and GameStop would be like, well, because there's a couple little scratches on this device, you're actually gonna owe us money to trade it in because we'd have to spend money to refurbish it. And I'm just like, what? It never made sense to me then. It don't make sense to me now. But this is GameStop in its finest, right? So GameStop is telling them the same thing. So I'm laughing so hard. Like, I'm just like losing it. And Mikado's standing there next to me. And I'm like, look, man, that you got to pay them to sell that to them. And I don't think that, you know, you want to do that. So, I mean, I offer you like $60, something around there. And he's like, nah, man, don't even worry about it. Here you go. He's like, you can have it. And he just gives it to me. And I'm like, wait, are you serious? Like, I can just have it? He's like, yeah, I don't have any need for it. I'm actually here to buy another one today. So I'm just going to buy another one right now. And you can have it. I have no need for it. And I'm like, what? I just was like, yo, I appreciate that, bro. Dapped him up. I was like, man, that is like fire. I'm going to use this for Modern Warfare for my girl. And instead of buying a new controller, I'm going to buy the little 8-bit DOE connector that allows us to hook up other controllers to any console we want, such as you can have the Switch controller on PS4 or Xbox controller on PS4 or PS4 on Xbox or PS4 on Switch or Xbox on Switch or vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just going to buy that adapter. It's like $10 online. And I got extra HDMI cables all over the place. Get a new hard drive for like $20, $30. Be able to download the game and play it. I'm like, yo, what, like for free like that? Like, I'm just spending $38 plus the $60 for the game, and I get a whole new console and the game, and just get the freedom to do what I want with it. Wow. So I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, man. I'm super hyped. I'm like, I walk out of there like that cheered me all the way up. It made my day. So I guess like the lesson I could take from this whole entire thing, I'd have to say would be, don't shy away from talking to people that may actually seem kind of standoffish at first. People that may seem like they would shut you down, or like if you already assume in your head that the worst is going to happen and then you decide not to even try because you think the worst is going to happen, then there's no way you can ever succeed. You'll always fail if you never try. You know what I mean? So just me having that conversation with him ended up leading to him giving it away to me for free, when in actuality he probably would have threw that thing in the trash had I not engaged in conversation with him and I just walked out the store. So it paid off to be a little bit social in that type of scenario, and it also paid off to the point where this guy's hospitality just really looked out for me. Even though I could have easily bought it, I was just like, it's just kind of like, dang, like this look what opportunity presented itself to me just because I decided to engage in conversation with someone who actually seemed kind of standoffish at first. It was like the minute that I started talking, at first he was standoffish, but as soon as I started talking to him, he just opened up. I guess you guys know me. I guess it's just like my outgoing personality or something, or the way that I was talking and articulating myself made him like interested in speaking with me or something along those lines. But I don't know what it was. I have no idea. But I just know that the guy was not standoffish anymore, and it was actually really like, I don't know what the word is. Like he was dope. He was cool. He looked out. He had, you know what I'm saying? He hooked me up. Like, I appreciate it. Hey, look, and to that guy, if you see this video, man, thanks, man. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to utilize this. I'm going to take care of your PS4. I actually am probably going to buy a PS4 disc drive off of like eBay or something online we can buy parts at. Buy a new disc drive and pop it in there and see, you know, if I can't just get that disc drive working as well. Even though I don't really need it, it's still pretty cool to have, you know. And that's really it. I mean, that's all I really got to say. I just want to say thank you to that guy. And if you guys enjoyed this little story time, just wait till I have my unboxing and review of this. You're going to laugh so hard when you hear all the stuff I had to go through with this controller. But I appreciate y'all for watching and listening to my long rant and story about everything that took place. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit the like button. Let's get like 10 likes on the video or something. And yeah, hit subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss out if I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys soon. Got some important news to share with you as well. So